Hey mamas, welcome to the Mom on Point podcast. I'm Valen. I will be your host every Tuesday. This is a fun, safe space where we can discuss motherhood in all its complexity. This includes loss, friendship, mental health, wellness, parenting, marriage, and as a postpartum doula, the postpartum period, and also identities. Throughout our lives, and especially motherhood, we experience so many identity shifts and changes, and I think we need more conversations surrounding the hard stuff, the things that matter most. And some of those things are really uncomfortable and no one likes to talk about it, but I do. So download this episode, play it in the car while doing errands or just hanging out at home. And I hope you enjoy this episode. Let's dive in. Hey mamas, so happy you're here. Thank you for tuning in. So it's getting close to the holidays. It's, almost the beginning of December, but I kind of wanted to talk about stress during the holidays for moms. Um, I see a lot when we talk about stress, we just kind of glaze over it. We don't really define what type of stress that we're going through. Um, whether it's because we feel shame about the things that we're going through, maybe they were self inflicted or out of our control or whatever it is. Um, Sometimes it's hard to ask for help. It is hard to talk to people about what you're going through in the moment. So I kind of, I figure that's what we'll talk about today. But um, we're going through a lot right now, of course. I don't know why, but it always seems November and December are like the months that Murphy's Law hits us the hardest. Um, when my husband was active duty as a military spouse, Murphy's Law was like a joke amongst male spouses. Basically, what I learned a little bit ago is that Murphy's Law is actually a real Murphy. What I don't know if Murphy is his first or last name, but he was a mathematical physicist, and so it has an actual background to the whole law. But the easiest way to explain it is basically anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Another one is nothing is as easy as it looks, and everything takes longer than you think it will. So those are like Murphy's first, second, and third law. And that's just like the simple, non scientific way to look at it. So, yeah, for us, our furnace went out. We live in a house that has two furnaces because we have an addition added to our house. And we were not planning on that expense. So we're trying to get help with it right now, which is, you know, I'm like, we didn't plan for this expense. And when we bought the house a year and a half ago, we used a lot of our savings. So it's like, shit. One, I feel shame because I should have known better to plan. We should have been saving for this type of thing because it is a 20-year-old furnace. It's literally surprised that it's lasted this long. That in our one of our AC units, again, we have two AC units. So one of them is also about 19 years old that we know is going to go. So we didn't plan and it sucks. So for us right now, the stress for us is like financial, right? And a lot of the stuff we go through, again, we don't want to talk about because there's like shame surrounding that. Um, like I even feel shame around talking about the fact that we are financially struggling because our furnace went out and now we got to like put thousands of dollars towards this, right? Um, but there's so much that goes on during the holidays, especially. Um, there's drama. There tends to be, if you're close with your family and you're spend a lot of time with your families, there's gonna be drama. I don't think I've ever met a family that does not have some sort of drama during the holidays, especially, even if it's like funny arguments or I don't know, whatever it could be. Um, we live far away far away enough from our families. We don't really see them maybe a couple times a year. So we don't get that very much. And it's honestly really nice. And, but I mean, a lot of my friends, I get to see all this stuff and it's nice not to have it, right? Ourselves. So you got the drama, but then there's also family issues, relationship issues, like health issues, mental health issues, and, death. I, November 2018, my dog Bonnie, I had her from a puppy and she died on Thanksgiving Day of 2018. Absolutely traumatizing. Um, and then last year, my grandma died December 22nd. So if you know about trauma, you know that, well, even if you don't know about trauma, it's just your body knows like what time it is, even if your brain hasn't caught up yet. So I have a really hard time in November and December as well. Um, so what can you do? What can you do to counteract these thoughts and feelings? And you know, if something's gonna go wrong, it's gonna go wrong. There's it's just how it is, right? I was I was so upset when our furnace went out. I knew that it was gonna be okay, in the back of my head, but I'm somebody who just needs to like talk it out to feel better. So my husband knows this and he sits there and he talks with me about it. And, at the end he's like, I hear you. It's all valid. Things will be okay. We're always okay. We always figure it out. We got this. It's temporary. And having him as my sounding board and like saying the things that are in the back of my head really helped me get through that. You may not have a significant other, so maybe having a best friend, or if you're close with your parent, talk through the problem with them. Um, it's just, you never know what they can do to help you until you ask. Um, so, what you can do, I love to go on Pinterest and find like positive affirmations or phrases to repeat when you're stressed out, when you're just when everything seems to be going wrong. And I record them on my phone. You should have a recorder app on your phone. If you don't, you can easily download one for free and just record your voice saying the affirmations. And you don't have to use them all the time. I mean, they work better when you do, but being able to hear your voice tell you those things like cements it. It's amazing. And it gives you a sense of hope and relief. And sometimes we just need some hope to get through the part that we know is going to pass. Um, Things like, I got this. There's always a solution. This is only temporary. This happens once every 20 years. It's going to be okay. Um, Anything that supports where you're at or what you're going through is super helpful. And another thing you can also do to kind of counteract all the stress is helping others. And I know that, like, if you're financially struggling, I know that sounds impossible because I used to think that way too. Like, we're barely making ends meet. How am I going to help anybody else? But believe me when I say, you don't need money to help somebody. Um, Making a meal for a new family, somebody who just had a baby, somebody whose parent just passed away, um, somebody is financially struggling. Make a dinner, You can donate food to the food pantry. You can give somebody a ride. You can you can volunteer. There's so many places during like the holiday season that people need help. Um, when we were in Washington, we used to help our church put together like the Thanksgiving bags of food. Um, they had a really cool closet thing they did where they collected donations from businesses and people, and then it would be like letting people come in to shop for whatever they wanted for free. I mean, if you have something that somebody else needs that you don't need anymore, pass it on. I know a lot of us are struggling right now, but it will come back tenfold to you. I truly believe that. Um, I don't know if you know who Tony Robbins is. Most people do. Um, he's like the self help guru, but he always said that if you won't give 10 cents from a dollar, you wouldn't give $1 million from 100 million. Like, if you're not willing to give when you're at your brokest, you're not going to do it when you have money. But a lot of change and growth and abundance happens when you can give, when you can, as you can. So just keep that in mind. Build up that positive karma, like if you believe that or not. I truly do. But that's also something else you can do, supporting somebody through a hard time. Just being a friend, being non-judgmental, not um not really talking or anything, just letting your friend or family member just like vent. You like having that person is so, oh my God, it is so amazing. A few weeks ago, I had a talk with my friend, um, and she really helped me through the problem. Like, and I normally don't talk to anybody about financial stuff, but for some reason, I felt that I could open up to her. And she just really helped me clear my mind and realize that I can change and I can do these things. And they're hard, but they're doable. There's also a few more things you can do. So, for one, let it be easy. I think we get caught up with social media and Pinterest, and don't get me wrong, Pinterest is like my favorite thing ever. And I use social media to stay in touch with a lot of people, but I'm a lot of what I see are unattainable. Um, I don't know what you would say, unattainable ways of being, like perfection, um, or at least like pretending you're perfect. I mean, just let things be easy. Don't compare yourself to others. Don't You don't need to overspend on Christmas to be a good mom. I know that's a big thing. That's something that I always struggled with. Um, when I was a kid, we had really good Christmases or really bad ones. And I think a lot of that feeds into how I feel. But, you know, freaking out because I don't have like 20 presents, or I didn't make cookies, I didn't wrap the present good, like just whatever you're feeling about it, just let it be easy. Don't overspend. Don't force anything. If you have plans, I think COVID, one really good thing it did is it allowed everybody grace. Like, I feel a lot now, like if you're just like, listen, I'm feeling really anxious about coming or going to this thing. Like, I think we're going to stop, I think we're going to just not come. Um, a lot of times I'm noticing that people are more understanding than they've ever been. They don't put up assumptions on you. They don't make you feel bad. If they do, F them. Like, that's shitty. They shouldn't be doing that. But it's okay to change your mind. A few years ago, let's see, Callie was probably 2 years old. Violet was 3 or 4 months old, and we wanted to go to the Detroit Zoo. Um, they have they light up the whole zoo with Christmas lights, and it's really cool. And so we went with my friends and my dad and my brother and his family. And I don't know, 10, 20 minutes into it, it was freezing. Violet was just crying. I had to breastfeed her, and she's my second baby and still so new at breastfeeding. I was having trouble doing that in the carrier with big boobs, and it was miserable, you guys. So miserable. And I wanted so bad to make my friend happy and spend the time with the family, but I'm like, you know what, you guys, I'm going to the car. This is just not worth it. And I waited for everybody to, get done. They had their fun and it was fine. But those things used to bug me. I used to feel bad. Don't. If it feels rushed, untimely, or too stressful, just don't do it. You'll probably be surprised that maybe your kids feel the same way or your spouse does. And do something else easy at home. Play a board game. Spend time talking about Christmas presents. Just let it be easy, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. I had to pause this a few times because of my dogs, so I apologize if there were long pauses, but I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you so much for joining me with the Mom on Point podcast. I hope you found some inspiration, some joy, maybe some new information that can help you heal, feel better, or just get through the day. If you've loved the podcast, please like and comment and let me know what you think. I read and respond to all comments personally, and it really helps others discover me who may need my message too. You can also find me on Instagram at vallenwebb. You can email me at info.vallenwebb@gmail.com. Again, that's info.vallenwebb@gmail.com. Or you can check out my website where I have tons of free resources and freebies at vallenwebb.com. I look forward to hearing from you. I'll add all these things on the show notes. Feel free to check them out anytime. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next Tuesday.